former police chief is stunned after learning the state has moved forward to strip him of his ability to practice law enforcement.
In tonight's Target 7 investigation, Jason McNabb is here with why.
Well, yeah, Doug and Shelley, behind me here is Cuba's former police chief, David Coleman. He does not know why his certification to be a police officer is on the line, but he doesn't believe recent purchasing controversy with an Albuquerque gun store is the reason.
I was shocked, completely blindsided.
Former Cuba police chief David Coleman wasn't aware his certification to be a police officer in New Mexico was on the line until Target 7 told him.
I had no indication of any issues, and when it was brought to my attention, I was really the wind taken out of my sails.
Target 7 found Coleman's name on a special meeting agenda for the New Mexico Law Enforcement Certification Board. He was one of 36 certified law enforcement officers that were slated to have possible action taken against their certification in this month's special board meeting. The LEA confirmed to Target 7 that the board did indeed to decide to move forward with decertifying Coleman. Coleman reached out to the LEA to learn more after we told him.
They had just finished going through their version of pre-screen, where they go through the files and they vote on whether to move forward or to dump them, and they had voted to move forward.
The Law Enforcement Certification Board will review an officer's certification after a misconduct report called an LEA 90 is filed. Here's a sample of one directly from the New Mexico Department of Safety's website. Coleman doesn't know who filed an LEA 90 against him or why, but he has his suspicions. Is there any reason you could think of why this would even be taken up with the board in the first place?
None to my knowledge, other than I can speculate on personnel matters that had taken place with disgruntled former employees, people that didn't leave under the most rosy of circumstances.
Coleman was fired from the Cuba Police Department as their chief in January. He provided us with this letter of separation from the village. It shows no reason given for termination other than he was a terminable at-will employee, meaning no specific reason had to be given.
I was released based on the letter that was tendered to me that I'm an at-will employee and at the mercy of the mayor's discretion, and I understood that as I was going into that. So it's kind of one of those things where you just kind of have to live each day as it comes.
His firing came coincidentally after a local gun store came to Target 7, showing the village was refusing to pay $20,000 for gun accessories the police department had ordered in October. Coleman was the one who placed the order. We tracked down Cuba Mayor Danny Herrera at his gas station last month to see if this is why Coleman had been let go.
Hey, Mayor Herrera? Hey, my name's Jason McNabb. I'm with KOAT Channel 7. I think we've talked before.
He said the firing was related to a procurement issue, but wouldn't expand further. Coleman doesn't believe his firing or the Law Enforcement Certification Board's actions are related to the gun accessories purchase.
I believe that this was filed with the Certification Board, which I believe was filed sometime in 2025, and this was prior to any of these issues with Mr. Rasmussen and his business.
In the meantime, Coleman says he will simply have to wait and see what happens as the board moves forward.
Until then, there's really nothing I can do about it. So, I could dwell on it, and it's just going to kill you slowly.
Now, Target 7 has filed an Inspection of Public Records Act request with the New Mexico Department of Public Safety for Coleman's LEA 90 form to see who filed it and why. We have not gotten it back at this time, but we will show you as soon as we have the findings in our hands. For Target 7, I'm Jason McNabb.